Imagine you're sitting across from someone you trust. Maybe it's a colleague, a friend, or even someone you're dating. The conversation feels normal until they ask you a question that makes you pause. Not because it's strange, but because something about the way they asked it feels off. Here's the thing. Liars don't just lie with their answers. They lie with their question. And if you know what to listen for, you can catch them in the act before you ever give them the truth. We live in a world where everyone wants information. Your boss wants to know why you were late. Your ex wants to know if you're seeing someone new. Your coworker wants to know what you said in that meeting. And sometimes the person asking isn't looking for honesty. They're looking for control. The problem? Most of us are trained to answer questions without thinking. We assume that if someone asks us something, they deserve a response. But liars weaponize that instinct. They use questions to test you, manipulate you, or cover their own tracks. So today, we're going to break down 5 questions liars always ask and why they ask them. Point 1. Why would I lie to you? This one's a classic. When someone says, "Why would I lie to you?" they're not asking a real question. They're deflecting. Instead of proving their honesty, they're putting you on trial. They're forcing you to justify your suspicion, which makes you feel guilty for even questioning them in the first place. Here's the psychology. Honest people don't need to question your doubt. They just clarify. But liars they need you to stop asking, and guilt is their weapon of choice. Point 2. What do you think happened? This question is a trap. When a liar asks you to explain what you think happened, they're not being curious. They're fishing for information. They want to know how much you already know so they can adjust their story to fit the gaps. Think of it like this. If someone genuinely didn't do something wrong, they'd tell you their side of the story immediately. They wouldn't need to hear yours first. But a liar, though, they're building their defense in real time based on what you reveal. So here's what you do. Don't take the bait. When someone asks you this, simply say, "I'd rather hear your version first." Watch how quickly their confidence cracks, because now they have to commit to a story without knowing what you know. Point 3. Do you really think I would do that? This is the emotional blackmail question. It's designed to make you feel like you're the bad guy for even suspecting them. The liar isn't defending themselves with facts. They're using your loyalty against you. After everything we've been through, you think I'd betray you. Here's what's happening. They're weaponizing your loyalty. They're betting that your guilt will outweigh your logic. And most of the time, it works. Point 4. Why are you being so paranoid? When a liar calls you paranoid, they're trying to reframe the situation. Now, it's not about what they did. It's about what's wrong with you. You're too sensitive, too suspicious, too emotional. And suddenly, you're defending your sanity instead of asking for the truth. This tactic is called gaslighting. And it's one of the most dangerous tools in a liar's playbook because it makes you question your own perception of reality. Point 5. Can we just move on? This is the shutdown. When a liar says, "Can we just move on?" they're not asking for peace. They're asking you to stop looking. They want the conversation over before you uncover anything else. And they're framing closure as maturity, when really, it's avoidance. Here's the truth. Real resolution requires honesty. If someone is pushing you to move on without ever addressing what happened, they're not trying to heal the relationship. They're trying to escape accountability. So what happens when you ignore these red flags? Over time, your brain starts to rewire itself. You stop trusting your instincts. You second-guess your memories. You begin to believe that you're the problem, not the person who's lying to you. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance, the mental strain of holding 2 conflicting beliefs at once. You know something's wrong, but you've been convinced it's all in your head. And that internal war, it drains you. It makes you anxious, exhausted, and disconnected from yourself. The longer you accept lies, the harder it becomes to recognize truth, even when it's staring you in the face. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. Are you listening to what people say or how they say it? Because liars don't always lie with words. Sometimes they lie with silence, with deflection, with questions that make you feel guilty for wanting the truth. But now you know what to listen for, and that changes everything. Has someone called you paranoid when you were just asking for the truth? Drop your story in the comments. You're not alone. And if you want to keep learning how to spot manipulation before it traps you, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next one.